figured it'd be about time to do another Arrow update. I did one a few months ago and was going to do a video for every batch of titles that came out, but then things got spread out a little bit, so I didn't actually have all of them at the time to do them. So now here we are in June. I'm just not getting around to another video. I figure going forward, we'll just do 4 at a time, so whenever I get 4 Arrow titles, I will do those titles and then wait for the next 4 to come in. First off, I got the Blu-ray release of Island of Death. Now, this is one I've heard about for a long time, but I hadn't seen it till now. Pretty weird thing. It's in a full-frame format, full-screen format, if you will. And it's like most Arrow titles. You get the Blu-ray, you get the DVD, and if you remove the DVD, you get the alternative cover, which, as you can tell, is the more traditional cover that these things usually had. But I kind of like the new art myself. I like that better than the old stuff. It also has a booklet in it, and they've started coming with little like index card, postcard things, and that's got contamination on that one. I actually like the movie. It's a wild movie. I started watching it. I left the room. I come back, and a man was sleeping with a goat. So it's one of those deals. If I can close the case without breaking the case. There we go. Moving along. We've got the limited one for the month that it was released, whatever month that was. It's Retaliation. Looks like the same group that gave us Massacre Gun, although I would not call this one as good as Massacre Gun. I wouldn't say it was as good as Massacre Gun. It's a Yakuza film. Guy's getting out of jail. Another guy don't like him. Then later on they have to bond over mutual reasons. So there's your cover of that. I'm not going to slide these things out of here because that would take too long. And plus, being a collector, don't want to risk damaging anything. And I'm pretty clumsy, as you can tell. But it's a slower paced one. It gets pretty good at the end. It gets pretty bloody at the end. Up to that, you may or may not like what you get with it. Although I think the cinematography is pretty well. And like the rest of them, this one has a booklet that I am struggling to get out there. There's the booklet. You can see there's more art on the booklet. I do not see a postcard with this one, or an index card, or what have you. I don't see one, so either I didn't get one, or it didn't have one. But nonetheless, this is limited to 3,000 copies only, so there's Retaliation if you're into slower moving Yakuza movies that have a pretty big payoff at the end. The AC's off because it's hot in here. I didn't want it to mess with the video, so if I'm visibly sweating on screen, that's why. Possibly the strangest, and if you see the last film here, you'll see me calling this the strangest, absolutely, is quite a kudo for the movie, is the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Miss Osborne. Now, if you've not seen this, or heard of this, and I hadn't, this is some wild stuff, folks. It's got a alternative cover here in it, but basically it's the same thing. It's just in French or Italian or whatever country this is. I don't do research, but nonetheless, there it is, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. Like, everybody's gathered around. It's the typical Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde, or Mr. Hyde thing, I should say. And it gets pretty crazy, and erect penises are on the screen, and people are tying their dads up and performing sexual acts in front of them. And it really is a really sleazy film, I guess is the best way that you could, describe it. And it's a French film, by the way. It's French. So that should tell you a lot. If you want a more detailed review, go to zombiesdon'trun.net where I do all the written reviews, and you can look this up. But I'm mostly just doing this to show stuff off here. But like I said, the cover isn't worth really going after because it's the same thing, just in French. But there's the typical booklet and disc and all that good stuff. And this one doesn't have a card either, so maybe this was part of the batch that did not have cards. Moving on to the coup de grace, if you will. The money maker of this video is the collector's edition of Society. This is one I had heard of for a very, very, very long time. I'd never seen it. The Arrow DVD was hard to come by, or excuse me, the Anchor Bay DVD was very hard to come by. So when Arrow announced this, I was pretty shocked because everybody thought Scream Factory would end up with it, but I guess not. And this is just great, folks. Look at that. It's a booklet, and then the case is inside the booklet, and the cover is kind of embossed or whatever, you know, like the old basketball cards used to be. You remember you used to get some that's like that. But really, if you've seen the movie, you know it's a great movie. It's the first time I ever seen the movie. I love the movie. I can give it 4 out of 5. Like I said, go to zombiesdon'trun.net and see the review. But this is the greatest package I've seen probably all year, and maybe the best one we see all year. And when you fold it out, there's your slipcase. We just set this over here out of the way. You have, first of all, there is the graphic novel of what was originally, I guess, intended at one time or another to be the sequel to Society, but it was never filmed. And they put out a comic book series, Party Crasher Society, which was meant to be the sequel, and they put the whole thing in graphic novel form here in the set. I've not read it yet, but me being a collector, I'm kind of afraid to turn the pages. If that makes sense to anybody, it's really weird. I'm kind of afraid I'll damage it some way if I look at it. But nonetheless, then here's this. This folds out. If you can see it, it folds out. There's the booklet. It's got booklet. You can read that if you can read. There's a society card. That's telling us how it's approved by the director and all that good stuff. And here is another society card. So I guess it's a 2-for-1 on that one because it's got the same card in it. Although this one just advertises the arrow tiles on the back and don't actually do anything else. It folds out into the DVD and Blu-ray portion of the disc. And if you've seen the film and you've seen the end of it, then you know where the references are coming from here in the art. But yeah, this is a great set here. This is probably the best thing I've seen all year. And since we're halfway through the year and I haven't heard of anything unless at Comic-Con or something gets announced, this is probably going to be the coolest thing that anybody gets all year long right here. And it's a really good movie, so it's deserving of such. I heard that this set is pretty well almost sold out. UK, American version, whatever have you. It's almost gone. And when it is gone, then what you're going to be left with is just the basic, as I struggle to get it in the slipcase, the basic 2-disc version that they do for most things, but they're going to do it for Society since it's such a popular title. But this is almost as good as gone. So if you have a chance of getting it, I think I'd get it if I was you, because once it's gone, and I don't know exactly how many copies of it there was to begin with, but most are gone. So nonetheless, here is your Arrow stack for this particular video. Retaliation, Island of Death, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Miss Osborne, and Society. Now, I'm not sure when I'm doing another video. I'm going to try to wait and get 4 of these at a time. For a minor spoiler for the next Arrow video, I can say that I've already got 3 of the 4 here. I have Spider Baby, I have The Happiness of the Katakuri's, or however you pronounce that. I'm not Japanese either. And Pit Stop, which is a good American title. Those are going to be the next ones that I talk about. That's this month's Arrow video. If you like the video, like it, I guess. People do this. I don't ever do this, so maybe I need to do this. If you like the video, click like down here. Or is it down here now? They changed stuff. But if you like the video, click like wherever it is. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I mean, God knows I need people to watch these things. And go to zombiesdon'trun.net, because that's where I get all my traffic usually. So check it out.